years. Wilderness and survival are kind of one of my interests for sure, so this is a really cool class to come into and talk a little bit about survival and what you might find yourself facing if you're abandoned out in the woods somewhere or something. Scenario. So a survival situation is sudden, it's unplanned, and you just kind of find yourself in a situation that you weren't expecting. What are the basic things you need to survive?
Water.
Need water. Yep. How long can you go without water?
3 days.
3 days. So when we break this down, it's basically all in rules of 3. You can survive without water for 3 days. All right. What else do you need?
Food.
You need food. How long can you go without food?
3 weeks.
Up to 3 weeks. That's a long time. You can survive a long time without food, but you cannot survive very long without water. Right? What else do you need?
Shelter.
You do. How long could you survive without shelter?
3 months.
3 months?
Yep.
Maybe in a really warm climate, right? Where it didn't have really torrential rain or any kind of exposure issues.
3 hours. 3 hours in the cold, probably.
Be up to 3 minutes to 3 weeks. Yeah, without shelter. But there's something else you guys need.
Clothing.
What are we all doing right now?
Breathing.
We're all breathing. How long can you last without oxygen?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Good. Yeah. 3 minutes. So, you could find yourself trapped underwater or in a car that's submerged in a flood or anything like that, right? Or in a mine shaft that has gas pockets. You're not going to survive very long if there is no oxygen, right? Find yourself lost. This is the very first thing you have to think about. All right, so this is what I want you to do. First, you need to get into a positive mental attitude, right? So in the first couple of seconds is the most crucial because you're going to start to panic. And when you panic, you don't think. And when you're not thinking, you make dumb decisions, right? So the first thing you need to do is stop. So S probably means stop. Sit down. All right? So if you find yourself in a situation and you're like, whoa, okay, I don't know where I'm at, something's not right, the very first thing you have to do is you have to stop, sit down, calm down, get into that positive mental attitude, start thinking, okay, this isn't that bad, I'm going to be able to get out of this, I can do this. Because the minute you stop and start thinking, oh my God, I'm lost, this is crazy, I don't know where I'm at, no way I'm going to get out of this, then you're not. Then you're going to sink your ship, right? You're just going to keep going downhill. You need to go up, right? You need to keep positive. You need to stop, think about what's going on. So T, what do you think T is? Think. Start to think. Sit down, calm down, think about where you're at. What was I just doing? Maybe you were just out on driving for deer and you were thinking about that giant buck and you completely lost your surroundings. But where was I? Where did I start? How far did I go? How long have I been on the trail? Okay, I haven't been out here that long. I couldn't have gone very far. So just start thinking about what's going on. Sit down, start thinking about what's happening and what you might need to do to get through it. And so, O, what would that? Should be looking around. What would we do? Observe. Start observing your surroundings. You could be like, oh, yeah, I've only been hiking for about 5 minutes, so maybe I can see my car. It's right over there. This is no big deal, right? Stop, start thinking, and observe your surroundings. You might gather your thoughts and figure out how to get out, right? You should also observe the weather, right? Where are you at? Is there a storm coming in? Am I in a bad spot? Was I hiking and I came up and I'm on a ledge? Maybe I'm out in the mountains and I'm on a real exposed ledge. Hey, am I in a safe spot? So you got to start planning. That's when you plan. You don't do it first. You go through all these steps. Stop, sit down, calm down. Modern, in a sense. These are just strikers. So it's like a fire rod. It's got a little coating of carbon on it right now, so you got to scrape that off. And then you'll start throwing sparks. So that's really what you want. So you want to be able to throw sparks. So this is just a striker, fire rod, fire stick. These are awesome. So this, you could submerge this, right? You could get this completely wet and pull it out of the water and start throwing sparks. Awesome. This is my go-to. All right, so we got that. Okay, now magnesium burns really hot and really bright, but it's really, really stable when it's in solid form. When it's solid like this, it's not going to do anything. So what you have to do is you have to grind it up into powder. All right, so usually on your magnesium strip, you're going to have a little saw blade. You use that, you can take it off this, and you just grind it down. You're going to start a fire for sure. All right, so you just, but it takes a long time. So you're just sanding, grinding that down, collecting that powder, usually like in like a little piece of paper or maybe some birch bark or something that you can find, and you just get it all collected, keep it kind of together, and that's what you're going to throw your spark into. Fire needs three things. It needs heat, fuel, and air. All right. So heat, that's your spark, your initial spark. Fuel, that's going to be, in this case, it would be that magnesium, right? And then air. So just air to burn. The way I like to think about it is when I start the fire, the heat source is going to be just this little spark, right? So I got minimal heat, so I need minimal fuel, small, and we call it tinder, right? So you got something really tiny to catch that spark. So you're not going to be using a giant stick or anything like that. You want dry grasses. I've grabbed some cattail tops. You know, we'll see if we can catch a spark with that. Real fine grass. And like this morning, you know, go out and look, and the ground's covered in frost, right? Thick layer of frost over everything. So you're not going to be grabbing grass that's right low to the ground, looking underneath trees, grass that's tall up and dead that you can grab, right? Real dry, anything light, really light. Think about that. So that's like your tinder source, what's going to catch that spark, that heat, that first heat source. And then you work your way up. And it's kind of, I like to go by like my fingers. And so you got your tinder. You don't want anything bigger than your pinky for that next layer of fuel, right? Then you just work your way up. Okay, a little bit bigger. You can feed as you go, right? So you kind of get something going and you're feeding it. Or you can do a fire set where you get everything built up and in place and then you go, and then, right? So those are kind of the two strategies behind it. Safety, always a good idea to be safe, right? So what's the first thing you should think about? Where you're going to put it, right? We want to think about where we're putting it. We want to make sure it's a safe area to put it, but then what? We're going to start a fire. What should we know how to do? Put it out. Yeah. So if you're starting a fire, you need to have a plan to put it out too. All right. So you need to know that.